Students, I am happy that so many students are joining each and every day during my Google Meet. It's really happy that is to see all of you here, that you are taking part in this wonderful Google Meet. It is really happy that I am going to take today about test of hypothesis. Test of hypothesis or hypothesis testings are very important for engineering students, because every fact is proved by making hypothesis. Without making hypothesis, we cannot accept the fact whether it is true or false. So let me take the screen now. All of you come to the screen. This is what hypothesis testing. So hypothesis testing consists of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 and step 5. Step 5. So there are 5 steps out there in any hypothesis testing. So in the first step, it is hypothesis formulation. Okay. So hypothesis formulation means we have to make two hypotheses. One is null hypothesis, another one is alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis means there is no significant difference. Significant difference means big difference between the observed value and theoretical value. That's called what? A null hypothesis. Null means there is no significant difference. Okay, there may be difference, but we cannot take it as a serious one. It is not significant. Such a hypothesis is called null hypothesis. The other one is called alternative hypothesis. Okay, so look at that. This is alternative hypothesis, and we denote it by H1. Null hypothesis means H0, and alternative hypothesis we are taking as H1. So alternative hypothesis exactly opposite to null hypothesis. Exactly opposite to null hypothesis. So just before I was explaining you, null hypothesis means the observed value and theoretical value are equal. There is no significant difference. If there is a significant difference, then we say that it is alternative hypothesis. Okay, so two hypotheses are very important. One is null hypothesis, the other one is alternative hypothesis. In the alternative hypothesis, there may be chances are there. Theoretical value may not be equal to observed value, first case, or the second case, theoretical value may be less than observed value. In that case, we call it as a one-tail test. The third chances is that the theoretical value may be greater than observed value. In that case, we say it is also a one-tail test. Okay. So this is about the first step, test of hypothesis. The second step is calculation of statistics. What is a calculation of statistics? Look at that. For the given situation, the situation may fall on a Z normal distribution, or chi-square distribution, or T distribution, or F distribution. So in any one of the distribution, the problem may fall. So according to that particular situation, we have to calculate the Z statistics, or chi-square statistics, or T test, or F test. Okay, so we have different formula, and by using the different formula, we have to find out the test statistics. This is second step in any test of hypothesis. Now what about the third step? Third step is about tabular value of the statistic. Tabular value. For the given statistic, whether it may be normal or chi-square or T or F, a tabular value will be calculated or will be identified from the tables. Z, that is normal table, have its own tabular value. Chi-square, it has its own tabular value. T, it has its own tabular value. F, it has its own tabular value. So for the given data, we have to find the tabular value. That is called the tabular value. That is the third step in any test of hypothesis. Okay. Now, fourth step is comparison. Comparison of what? The comparison. In the second step, we are calculating the second step we are calculating the test statistics by using the formula. Okay. Now in the third step, we are calculating by tabular values. So we have to compare the calculated value and the tabular value. The calculated value and tabular value we have to compare. That is what step number 4. If the calculated value is less than the tabular value, if the calculated value is less than the tabular value, then we are accepting the hypothesis. We are accepting the hypothesis. If the calculated value is greater than the tabular value, then we are rejecting the null hypothesis. Now look at the screen here. If the calculated value is less than the tabular value, then H0 is accepted, H1 is rejected. Look at that. We will be getting a calculated value from here and tabular value from step number 3. If the calculated value is less than table value, then H0 is accepted, H1 is rejected. That is, H0 is accepted and H1 is rejected. In that particular case, we accept that the theoretical value equals the observed value. Now there may be another chances for that. Am I right? That is calculated value, that is the calculated value from the step number 2 is greater than the calculated from the step number 3, that is tabular value, then H0 is rejected. H0 is rejected. When the calculated value is greater than table value, H0 is rejected. So if the calculated value is less than the tabular value, we have to accept the null hypothesis. What is null hypothesis? There is no significant difference between calculated value and the observed value. If the calculated value is greater than the tabular value, that is the value got by the second step is greater than the value got by the third step, tabular value step, then the null hypothesis rejected. If the null hypothesis rejected, H1 is accepted. Then we say that there is a significant difference. When we say that there is a significant difference, when the calculated value is greater than table value, then H0 is rejected. So according to that, we are making the conclusion also. The conclusion also we can make according to that. In the case first, if the calculated value less than table value, then null hypothesis accepted. The conclusion is that theoretical value equals observed value. If the calculated value is greater than the table value, then we understand that the null hypothesis is rejected. Therefore, the theoretical value is not equal to the observed value. The theoretical value is not equal to the observed value. It's not equal to, that's very important thing, not equal to the observed value. Okay. The totality of all these, okay. All these steps, step number 1, hypothesis formulation, step number 2, calculated value using statistics formula. Step number 3, tabular value from the tables. Step number 4, comparison of calculated value and tabular value. On the basis of that, if the calculated value is less than the tabular value, then null hypothesis accepted. If the calculated value is greater than the tabular value, then the null hypothesis rejected. Okay. So this is what test of hypothesis we say. So students, so far we discussed about the test of hypothesis. Thank you very much for present here. In the future I will come with another topic, and your cooperation is very much needed. So you add more and more of your friends to come over here to this wonderful Google Meet. Thank you very much and goodbye.